Yo, welcome back to episode 7. We've made it 7 episodes. We're going to be double digits soon.
That's insane. They say once you've made it through 3, you're more likely to stick around and like be a thing. So that's cool, right?
Absolutely. It's kind of like the cycles in crypto. The more times we have a cycle, the more likely we are to have one in the future. So 7
That's
episodes
right.
here, and we're more than likely to have an 8th episode.
That is true.
Than another one.
That is true. A good 8th episode because we have Doran from the from DeFi app coming on to talk about some of their updates. So I'm super excited about that one. We do have a guest scheduled today. They are on the opposite side of the world, and I think it's like 4:30 in the morning their time. So fingers crossed that they are awake and on their way in. And if not, we'll kind of wing the show because that kind of stuff happens. But hopefully we'll get Eric here. He is a VC. He does a lot with infoFi, big Kaido yapper, and then also comic books. I learned from Mike on his tweet earlier.
Yeah, he's
So
like creating a comic book. So that's what a cool little tangent. Like VC, Web3 communities, NFTs, all that, and I'm making a comic book. But that's really cool actually. It's actually funny. I was at a festival with my daughter on the weekend and my whole family. And there's like a bunch of little like booths, right? Like local booths, people selling stuff, kids making bracelets, whatever, right? And one guy had a comic book, like a graphic, and I was so tempted to go up to him and talk about, hey, let's talk about crypto and NFTs and how you can sell NFTs of your characters in the book. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be that guy today. So
I get it.
But
well, he just messaged. He's on his way in, just so you know, and I do have to go repost on the arena. So if you want to start maybe some news, I know you were looking at a few things earlier.
Yeah, I just got one article today, which was pretty sick and like things pumped up from there. So I will let's get to the news and I'll show you here, guys. So Trump Media Company set up a Crow strategy, crypto.com. If you don't know what Crow is, it's their native token there. They're set to buy 6.42 billion deal with crypto.com for their treasury. They're making a Crow strategic treasury for with Crow, with the media company. And I got an alert today, and freaking Crow went up like I think at the top it went up like 36% in one day. It was insane. I didn't see this one coming. That just came out of nowhere. And when altcoin season as Ethereum gets to new all-time highs, you're gonna start to see this kind of stuff. You're gonna start to see random altcoins start to pop off at different times. You just hold your altcoin.
How do I know which ones?
You don't. That's the thing. It just every coin has its time. You'll know in the charts. You'll kind of see it coiling up, but like what I mean. Like I noticed this last cycle in 2021. It was like I was waiting for one coin to pop off, and it seemed like it was forever. And then all of a sudden, boom! It popped up. It had its time. It may only had 2 really big daily candles, but
right.
Every coin will have its time. It just depends on where's money flowing, right? And attention, right? Money and attention. Where attention is, energy follows, and money is energy. Therefore, wherever attention is, energy and money will follow. But so pretty big news for Crow. I've been a big fan of crypto.com for a long time. I've used that exchange. I got into it back in 2021, and I have my crypto.com card. I spend crypto on that card. Very, very good. Until recently, I got the Avalanche card, and I actually kind of use that now because that's a little bit more decentralized. Now, you know what? I wanted to see the difference between the two. And my crypto.com card is metal, but it does not glow red when I cash stuff out. So I like the little red light on on the AVAX card when I use it.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
But all seriousness, I actually really like the idea that you just fund the wallet. It's not like crypto.com, you got to KYC, you got to do all this stuff, and like it's just not fun because like I got like questioned for like $500 in my crypto.com account. It's like, where'd you get this money from? It's like, bro, if I went to a bank, they wouldn't ask me for about $500. Like 20 grand I get, but like $500, like leave me alone. But that's kind of why, that's also why I love Enclave, because it's like nobody needs to know what I'm trading. It's my business, it's my money, you know what I mean?
I know. And on that note, shout out to our sponsors, Enclave. Obviously, both of us have been trading with that EdgeBot, the first AVAX-based Telegram trading bot, super fast, super easy. You can do perps on it. Also ToshiBet. I've been working with them for a while. Really happy with those guys. We'll put links in the comments. I'll drop some links. And if you want to drop your links for Enclave and Connect and those things, just to support the sponsors, they do a lot for us to help us keep the show going and produce it. So we definitely want to give them their props. And they're all, people and products we love. And just Avalanche,
Oh yeah.
because it's a
When's the next early morning gambling stream? That was fun.
Dude, I won. I need to do it in the mornings more often.
That was it's pretty entertaining. I was watching you do what was that? Was it the mines that you were doing? And you were you're kicking some butt there. No, you were doing that other one the slot
Chinese
one,
pot.
and you kept getting like free spins over and over and over, and it kept like doubling, tripling, like quadrupling. It was crazy.
It's pure dopamine. It's
dopamine. I wasn't even gambling, and I got the dopamine spike.
Well, cool. Okay, we have Eric about ready to pop in, so we're gonna pivot from the news, bring in our friend Eric, and let's get into some real conversation. Whoa, driving while taking a call. I hope you're in the back.
No, I'm in the back, and I'm not driving. Yeah.
He's getting driven.
Well, welcome, Eric.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Doing
How are you?
very well. Glad you could make it, and congrats on the new baby.
Oh yeah. It's a blessing and also hard work at the same time. That's all I can say.
You look great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on this call.
Yeah, we're excited to. I think maybe a good place to start. We've seen each other on the internet, I think, for some time, and just like an overview of your background. I know, you've been with VC, and is it only One Force? Is that how you say it, or ON One Force?
Yeah, One Force is actually an NFT community that minted in 2021. I think 3 months after the Bored Apes. So it's been my love for, I guess, a long time, and of course I commuted a lot for the years. And I'm gonna jump right in. I started my career like anybody, like after university, you kind of find your first job, and they hated the first job, just do right. So I graduated, I think, stats and statistics and actuarial science, and that's kind of like finance mixed with machine learning. Back then, machine learning wasn't a thing. So you use stats to make data up, or you just make data look useful. And then 10 years ago, like I think 13 years ago, I had an e-commerce startup, and we were the first one to make widgets. And I was very lucky. After a year, we had a lot of sales selling widgets, and I had a business that's selling hangers. How when people get weddings, they write their name on a hanger just to give them to a special someone.
Yeah.
We sold a shit ton. So, but our main business was actually
spinners too, right? Like the little.
Yeah, and not spinners. Hangers. Like when you hang your clothes, you can have a custom name on your hanger.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was like the thing for a while, and we saw a lot, but we caught the eye of WordPress, and WordPress actually offered us to buy our business, their subsidiary, and and I took the offer, and we're so glad because 6 months later, WordPress kind of died off, and then Shopify came along. So I was very lucky 13 years ago, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like I got my first pot of gold, I guess, in that sense. And then that was like my deposit for down payment for my house and everything. So I was very lucky. And then I went back to working corporate. That's what it was. Corporate. And then well, you needed something to do, right? So it was a good exit. It was a good small exit for the two partners. It was a very small team. We only had 3 of us, but we slaved every day. It was very fun. And then awesome. And then sooner or later, I didn't get into VC until probably 5 years later. But during that time, I actually failed two startups after, and one of them was jewelry stores. I opened a brand called GNU, and we ran 20 different jewelry stores. So 5 of us were owned by us, and 15 was like consignment stores. So it was me and my sister. I did the business side. She was a designer at Lululemon, and we did it that did it for
My
3 years.
daughter's upset. Thanks a lot. It's really expensive, and she's always like, "Mom."
Yeah, it is, and that was because I was from Vancouver, and Lululemon is Vancouver, so that's why like how it all happened. And soon after that, I think in 2018, I bought my first Bitcoin. It was very funny. It was in a bar I invested in, and you know what? If you don't know about food, don't know about drinking, never invest in any restaurants and bars because they look like they have a good gross profit and make money, but they never do. Like
Yeah.
every
We've all watched Bar
F&B,
Rescue.
yeah, like yeah. So
I've worked in
exactly
some.
Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
You just like maybe as I work too. Like during Saturday, like we get like all your friends to come in and you gather people and you're like, yeah, I can hook you up with like a free gin and tonic maybe, but then just give all your profits away because
And then you're like the coolest friend ever until until you're not making as much.
But you don't make any money. So at the end of the day,
it's so popular. It's like cheers. You're broke, but all your friends are there.
Yeah, exactly.
So what led you actually, first of all, how did you find crypto? I know you said you bought your first Bitcoin. How did you find out about it?
Because some guy was like talking about it in the bar. I'm not kidding. And I was like, what the heck? And he was showing his app on was called Extortus, EXDOS or something. And then I was like, how the heck? And he was like, yeah, I got it when it was like, like $900, and now it's like 3,000 at that time or something. And I was like, there's no way. And I was like, I'm gonna put 10K in or something. And then I couldn't. And I remember I had to give the guy literally cash, and then he sent me a Bitcoin from his wallet. I was like, it's so freaking sketchy, but that's how I got my first Bitcoin. And then I forgot about it for like half a year, and then it started exploding. And then I found out, I can mine ETH, like Ethereum. And then I went crazy in the mining side for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So then that's how I got really.
That's how I got in. You guys are the smart ones.
Yeah, the mining was actually I wish mining would have like stayed longer, to be honest. Like
I built a whole room in my basement behind me for it, and it's empty now.
Oh yeah. You okay? I built it. You know what happened? So I worked for this like this place near a co-working space, and they didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, can I put like a couple servers here? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I like basically had free electricity for 2 years.
Oh my god!
So it was like the best thing ever, and there was like
they hated you.
They didn't hate me. They didn't hate me. They had no idea. And then one day, like the heat was
normal.
They thought the heat was too much, and I'm like, yeah, this is just machine stuff, like server stuff. And then one day, okay, thank you. And then one day they just like decided that they kicked me out, and it was not. They couldn't, and we had a whole back and forth thing, and and then after like I think after 2018, 2019, and then all the craze started hitting. 2020, I got back into building again for VC. So I was in San Francisco at that time, and then I raised $2 million to do a protocol for Wolf3 because NFT was a craze, and I thought metaverse and sandbox was the thing. So I bought a shit ton of land. It was every Thursday I was at 9 p.m. I was in Asia at the time, and you can mint how many sandbox lands you want. It was like so cheap. It was like 0.05 ETH.
I remember getting into this Decentraland, and it was like the hottest thing. It was crazy. Playing games and like now, like looking back now, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, we should have just capitalized. Like I always like talk about now, like the attention is where the capital is. So if we were smarter back then, we could have bought it earlier and then sold it when all the attention was there. And then now it's like worthless. No one really cares about metaverse anymore.
Yeah.
And the trends go. And during that time, I thought metaverse mortgages was the best thing. So I bought a lot of land. I was like, oh, this is for my future son. it's got for my parents in the future when it goes to the moon, and then I raised $2 million to make a NFT metaverse mortgage startup. And I was in San Francisco and it was hot because if you talk about metaverse, you easily can get, funding.
Oh yeah.
It's hard, but it's not easy either. You just need to find the right people, I think. So I was part of this program called Draper. Tim Draper, he owns like 1 million Bitcoins. So, he really bought into if you're into crypto at that time, and he would help you. And I was part of that program. And then that's how I got into Draper Dragon, got really familiar with all the features there, HSMZ and Paradigm and everyone. And then, yeah, one day I flew to Hong Kong because I was actually born here in Hong Kong, but I grew my whole life in Vancouver and San Francisco. So I met a girl and I got married. So now I'm here.
Now you're stuck in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I'm stuck in Hong Kong. So long story short, that startup didn't work out. Like I think the metaverse was over, and then what happened was there was Blendao. I'm sure you guys are hearing them say Blendao, and then there was Blur. Blur came out with their buy now pay later. It destroyed us in like a day. Their 1 day volume was equal to our 7 months of like hard work volume.
Wow.
So there's no way we continue. So me and our partner, like there's 3 of us, we just decided let's just give up. Like, but we had still like a lot of money in the bank, like almost $2 million, like 1.9 million. So what do you do, right? So I just suggested let's just like keep our reputation, not burn our VC money, get everything back, and then just that's it, right? And that's what we did. We did that. And then soon after.
That's cool. Like mad props for that, because I think there's a lot of teams that don't have that level of integrity, and it hurts all of us in this space.
Yeah, we returned all the money, returned everything, like back to retail, back to everyone. And then what happened was 4 weeks later, because we did that, we were offered jobs in like the VC space. They're like, okay, cool. you build things, the builders. How about just work for us, that kind of thing. And then that's how it started. And then the VC I'm connected to now actually purchased OM1 for like millions and millions of dollars. Wow. And I thought, these guys are awesome. And OM1's like the owners of this fund, the GPs are actually from Binance. Like they were originally VP, like working with VZ and everyone back in 2020 and 21. And then they just came out and did their own fund. So this is what happened. And once you're in this space, it's just it's different. You get a lot of deal flow. What deal flow is like a lot of builders trying to raise money, and you kind of like help them along the way. And if they're good, then you kind of give them some money. Also connect them to the right people, like right ecosystem. There's a lot of ecosystem that needs blocking secure projects to builders. So that's my job, I think. Yeah.
What sectors are you guys? So what, as a VC, because I know you do other things, and we kind of connected over some of the SocialFi stuff, and I want to talk about that today too.
Yeah.
But in terms of VC, like back when, so I raised in 22, tried to raise, right? So we, after Immutable and Elixir and all the other game launchers came out, we wanted to have a working MVP. So in hindsight, we should have, pitched on a deck and run with it. And, you learn with every venture. So we were not able to raise at that time because the game launcher market was saturated. We didn't differentiate quite enough. Like having a custodial wallet, multi-chain just wasn't right. And also it's just, it's tough to get funding in this space regardless. Like a lot of it is who you're connected to and who you know. We were able to pick some of the, top Griffin gaming partners and A16Z and a few of the others. And got a lot of good feedback, but it's tough out there for people raising. And if they're not raising in your niche, or if they're not bullish on your niche at the time, it's like an uphill battle. So who's hot right now? Who are you guys looking for?
Technically right now, who's hot is stablecoins. Not gonna lie, it is stablecoins right now. It is we're all looking at institutional, what is like bigger institutional going into. There is some SocialFi. what happens now is actually what we do is we don't actually like I guess invest right away. We probe it out for like maybe a couple months, and at the
Hmm.
same time we kind of like okay, I'm a principal, I'm not the GP of the fund. I do have a boss. The boss has to say yes. So
Yeah.
I do have to if I see like okay they're going to be really good, so I will pitch them to an ecosystem such as maybe Aptos or Sui or some of the bigger PGE chains that are gonna pre PGE. And if they say,
Hmm.
okay, this is what's interesting, we will give them the ecosystem push because the majority of builders, they're good builders, but they don't have any good marketing. They don't have any good reach to like push them to new users. So if another
Right.
ecosystem is willing to back them, chances are we will do that the same. So like, okay, so for example, if Aptos, okay, we'll give them 100K in grants and we'll help them marketing push. Okay, then we're like, okay, then we're safe. We'll
Yeah.
give them 100K.
Somebody has to
Like,
be the lead or show that first vote of confidence. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Usually VC do that too, but I have to say a lot of VCs are stuck with less liquidity now. Hence, the
Yeah.
smart money are much more careful because
Mm.
no altcoin has like a lot of projects that VC invested for the last let's say 3 4 years. A lot of them hasn't PGE yet, or they haven't like
Wow.
gone to the next level yet. So there's a lot of things out there. Is it a staff or a safe or even like a convertible note? Um, yeah, a lot of the money are stuck in projects. So like they're thinking
Yeah.
if they're a multi-strategy fund, they might go like, I'm not gonna invest into something that will have my money stuck there for another like 3 years maybe. Maybe I'll just
Right.
put it into Bitcoin instead or put it into some liquid fund instead.
Right.
I'm not kidding. Like you probably make
I,
much more money that way and in liquid. So that's what
and that's a
that's what a lot
problem
of
for the
funds do.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of people abuse some big bankrolls in
Yep.
21. We've seen, especially, I come from gaming, pretty particular, was heavy in gaming for a couple of years, and
Yep.
hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and most of these games have just shut down without really anything to show for it. And I like what you said about you almost
Yep.
allow the blockchains to lead because they are in it, right?
Yep.
They are deep in the ecosystem. They understand which products are going to fit within their eco, which they can help
Yep.
push. So once you know that
Yep.
a chain is committed to supporting, I think that's really, a good
Yep.
signal for a PC.
So it's actually very good. VC look at they're much more smarter. So they do due diligence like before was just like look at what have you launched in the past, if the team is any good. But now it's more like they actually look at your GitHub. We actually do look at your repo and say, okay, if you did launch something, let's see if you're actually a builder. Um, and
Right.
there's a lot of because AI now it does help a lot with building, like in a cursor AI, they help you code and everything. And you actually 5 and there's a lot of, I guess, quote, quote, fake coders out there or vibe coding.
Yeah.
So VC
Hmm.
still look at legitimate like developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do need all of that. It's harder. It is much harder, but it's also you get the tool to make MVP much easier too. So that's why we're all so much more
100%.
careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the market's matured, right? So it's like back in the day, it was like the wild wild west. Like everybody just wanted to get into everything because everything was so new.
Yep.
But now that it's maturing, you got to pick and choose a little. You got to be a little bit more picky on with who you choose to work with. And I
Yep.
like the idea of like working with stable coins. That's my huge thing. Is that Genius Bill? Is I don't think
Yep.
people realize the tsunami of money that's coming into crypto when institutions and banks and everyone's making a framework right now of how to, first of all, banks can make their own stable coins, and
Yep.
it's just a huge, it's the biggest on ramp I think we've had in maybe ever.
Like a
And
translation layer between just like banks and how people operate with banks and then
yeah,
crypto.
well, look at like fintech
Facility
companies
without-
like Robinhood, for example, because I'm Canadian, so I use like a Wealthsimple or TradeQuest, what, but like a Robinhood. Banks have to compete with that now. So why would you go use a bank if I can direct deposit directly to Robinhood? I can buy securities and whatnot or crypto and invest directly on there. I can get a yield that's way better than the bank on there. So banks have no choice but to compete, and the stable coins allow them to do that because they can get a part of that yield. And if staking becomes part of the ETFs, that's another avenue banks can capitalize on, and they just got to compete. Technology is making things easier accessible for people, and banks have no choice but to compete, or else they're going to get left behind.
Yeah, so I do agree with that exactly. So, but something interesting that really happened is taken off a lot. I'm not advocating for them, but I have put money into them. Katana and on Polygon. What a lot of VCs are looking at is their model. Um, they, instead of asking for direct investment, they ask to give them like yield. You know how like yield farming, you put money into something and you get like interest,
Mhm.
but instead of that, it's liquid. So they gathered more than, I think it was like, I don't remember how the number anymore, like 50 or 100 million just by doing that.
Oh, wow.
And everyone's like, okay, if my fund, if I can invest into money into something that's liquid and get it back and also get a yield, why not? So all these guys are doing is getting something where they're taking your stables and getting something out of it. And at the same time, you give them liquidity, so working capital at the same time.
Yeah,
So a
and for
lot of,
institutional investors, it's not like reinventing the wheel. It's something they're very familiar with
yeah,
already, with like a dividend stock or something. That's the way I see yield
yeah,
staking.
yeah,
I see it as just the new dividend stock.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I want to move on to some infofi stuff too. So I mean, obviously you've been looking at it from a VC perspective. I'm curious about, we've seen Kaido and there's been,
Yeah.
Some opinions on Kaido. I have my own personal opinions. There's goods and bads. And then we're seeing a lot of pop up of Mindo and Wallchain. And
Yeah.
where do we put our attention? What are VCs thinking? Like, are you guys still investing and still looking for more? Is the sentiment like, Kaido has first mover advantage and there may be a few little companies that get some traction, but eventually like Kaido might just, absorb them, basically buy them out?
We actually don't know, but it's actually good for space. The more competition, the better. It forces like Kaido and other companies to evolve and make a better product. That is the number one thing. No matter if it's crypto or real world, that's what it is. Like if you get a better restaurant next door, you better either make it better discounts or you have better food and people come, right?
Yeah.
So it's good for the space. But social fi is a big thing. A lot of people have a lot of take on it. They try to incorporate gamers, like probably from Steam over like there's many things like LinkedIn, um, LinkedIn for gamers or LinkedIn for your high portfolio is doing. So I'm looking at a perspective that it is here to stay. It is a brand new. I think it's a brand new category. And for me, and I think infofi really started and it was December, I think December, January, and I think it changed everything. It's a different kind of marketing. Back then was like you use Quest or Galaxy to use like this like and retweet Quest, and it was like horrible, but it was awful. But users do that, and even I do that personally because working for a PC, like salary sucks. So you gotta find some like bonus, like side money, right? Like for us, for VCs, we don't get any bonuses until like a startup or any company does really well somehow.
Yeah.
So I can't say it's like minimal salary, but it's not much. And yeah, I think the Mindo coming out and Wallchain, but the first mover advantage is still everything. Everyone kind of knows that they charge a big listing fee to be listed on their leading board now, but they have the attention. They have, if there's money to be made in crypto, everyone just throws their heads at it. And but it is what it is now. Like there's many more people trying to game the system. I'm sure there's a lot more bots than it is.
I got so my personal recent experience is I made a top 10 leaderboard for DeFi app, which I've been an ambassador for them since the beginning. And I don't think I'd ever paid attention to Kaido that much before. I checked my things and, had a couple hundred and just, I got the first airdrop. But when I got on that list, I got added to all of these lists of people who are farming. And then I just got overrun, and I'm trying to keep up and figure out who's a bot and who's not. And then a couple days later, I lost my inner circle badge. And then it happened to a lot of other people that kind of interact with, quote unquote, not smart followers or community members. So I think, I think my complaint with that team at the moment is the comms. The comms are kind of atrocious, and the lack of clarity and transparency. I don't think any, and maybe it's a marketing ploy, right? Everyone's talking about them because I tweet them out. I'm like, am I back today? Am I not back today? It could be like some kind of, but right, like, to me, consumers are going to be more and more empowered over time in this new economy. The barrier to cross platforms gets lower and lower. And with AI and like a Noma is a product I'm interested in, you can just, and it's an intent-based blockchain where you can just say, hey, I want to move all of my Solana to AVAX. Like, I can get pissed off at one chain and just, like, I have choice as a consumer. And I think one thing in Web 2 is you're very limited to what's around you. And that's why we have so many Karens. Like, businesses are like, you're stuck with us, and they don't treat customers well. And then customers are like, I'm your customer. What's good? Like, don't you?
That's the problem we have in Canada. There's an oligarchy of companies here.
Yeah,
so,
that's
like,
true.
How does that play out? Does Kaido need to improve on comms, or are they just at this point like, we're inevitable?
I actually, I don't have an answer to that, I think. But I think Kaido is their main customer isn't actually us as creators. Their customer is actually the project. So if they cater enough to the blockchains, to the people paying for their actual data layer, they charge, I think, I don't remember how much they charge for the Kaido engine. They only care about those. So technically they are the customer. So, and the creators are the products. If you think that way, then which is more important, right? So
I've made that argument to people before too, right? Like, their money driver is that. But if top creators, like, there's a lot of big creators on the platform that lost their badges and haven't got communication.
Me too. I lost it too. So
so if those people migrate, and then the value of Kaido's content creators goes down and the reach goes down, and then the rewards start getting bigger on other platforms because they have better engagement, like, there's a path for somebody, I think, to come in and disrupt.
So that's why there's so many different ones now, like Wall Chain with Quack, and there's like a Fantasy with Cloud. And there is Lido with something else now. There's so many, right? So eventually they have to pay attention to their product now. So, I spoke to the team, I think was in February back then. They weren't looking for any investment. They actually have a lot of money. And they even had a big unlock of Kaido, I think was August 21st or 20th. So everyone was speculating that there will be an airdrop of like season 2. Never happened. For them right now is they're smart. They're smart guys. They're smart. The Kaido, you how they're smart. So I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I think it's gonna be much more than Twitter. They'll probably start looking on. Doesn't have to be TikTok. The TikTok video content is hard to do. I'm guessing they'll be doing threads. The Facebook version, and I'm not like Canada. I'm not sure how to do it, but in Asia now, the fact checking for Web 2 is threads now. Like, if they find anything that is special on Instagram or anywhere, they search on threads, and people go viral on threads for some reason. And
I don't know what happened. I gave up on it right away. I was like,
I never joined threads.
Apparently,
it was the thing, right? It was a good thing. Like, you joined and it never took off, but took like a year later or 2 years later, and now it's getting more popular again. But I'm guessing they'll find something with text content that they can, get a clause on, and then that's how they, I guess, not only get Twitter, because Twitter is always tech and AI and I guess crypto and porn, if you can believe it. Porn is probably like, a third of Twitter content. You just don't see it. But it's
my
there,
algo.
right?
Not
Like
my algo, thank God.
it's an algo thing, right? But
Yeah.
but
I guess there's
yeah,
some
Twitter,
crypto girls that are borderline.
yeah,
Cardano
yeah,
girls.
yeah, or could be, yeah. But I see them stretching out to other social fly
Yeah.
platforms, and other people try. Like I think there was a forecaster that really tried, but it's not taking off. But the majority audience is still on Twitter, so it's kind of like this. Like, yeah, first mover advantage. Basically, everyone's kind of stuck with them. So
Yep.
like Twitter is the same. We can never leave Twitter. Like I can't leave Twitter. I opened my first account in 2009, and I've been
Yeah.
here ever since. Right. So
Yep. Yeah. No, I feel that. Oh God, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Mike, you go, and then I'll.
I was gonna
give you
yeah,
say
my
you go.
thing.
Twitter is
I'm
where
gonna
the
jump in the
crypto
elevator.
Twitter live. Crypto
You just
Twitter
what?
is where it's at. He's jumping into an
I'm
elevator.
gonna come back in a second. Yeah, the elevator.
Oh, okay. You're good.
He's about to do an elevator pitch.
Oh my God, let's go. Live on the show, elevator
Yeah,
pitch.
I gotta get into more of the Cato stuff. I signed up. I had a problem with linking my account. That's kind of why I'm like I left it. Like I can't figure this out. I put it aside. But man, talking about threads, I never got into threads. I think the only time I open up Facebook is the doom scroll Facebook Marketplace when I'm bored at
Yeah.
work.
I checked my birthday messages yesterday
I
or
used
whatever.
I used to use Facebook exclusively for messages, and I deleted my personal Facebook, and I
Yeah.
just have like the modern Canadian one. But I only
Yeah.
use it for Marketplace when I want to sell stuff because I don't put any of my content down there. But apparently, I've been told, and not just from here, is even at the conferences, like people are using Facebook for crypto. Like that's
Yeah.
so like I just
Well,
what
I
it
think
is.
what we need, so like when I was at Amazon and we would sell across multiple, I was onboarding brands to Amazon, but then we would also do eBay and you could have a Shopify store. There would be like, I can't remember a name of a single one. It's been so many years, but just interfaces where I could list all of my inventory. And there's content creation tools like this that aren't as comprehensive, that don't include like threads. And I think there's some just like streaming, right? You're linked to certain ones, but I like the idea of more of a simplified access point for creators to distribute that content across platforms. And then like Jordan, I'd love to get Eric's thoughts on the Reply Corp theme, because it's basically an overlay that will exist on all of these platforms, and it tracks reward points from people engaging with you. So as opposed to the Kaido AI, I'm making money from Kaido, and I take a percentage of my earnings as a creator, and then I have my own little kind of Kaido leaderboard, but I do it raffle style. And so, because I can't be managing, I didn't get points for this, or why does so-and-so have, it's a raffle. You get 1 point for engagement. And, I think we're going to see more of that. Like
I think
creators
when you see
becoming their own platforms almost.
I think when you see the rise of AI agents and as they get better, I think that's like you're talking about like that one-stop shop where it tracks. I think that's where it is. I think it's the AI agents because they can connect multiple different platforms and pull, the information from there and put into one single thing. Even like we were talking about before, like a way to integrate all our chats for our live stream. AI agents, I think, that's where you're going to start to see that full connectivity, because I'll be honest with you, like you got me onto Opus Clip Pro. I make my clips on Opus and I post it to all my.
It's so much easier.
It is, but the thing is, I can only really focus on one thing at a time. So my quality posts are always on X. I just don't have the time because I still work full time. And then I have it on my daughter, my family, and everything like that. And I'm sure, and you got 3 kids. Like it's hard to focus on all 3 and have the quality on every single platform. You know what I mean? Like I make the clips, I send them out to TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and I also put it on X. But like X is where like I make the better posts. I make more threads. Like I'm more active on X than all the other platforms. I just don't have time to be messaging people content. Like I'll peek into it a little bit here at work to see how the analytics did, but like I'm too spread too far. That's why it'd be nice more tools like this to integrate it, to make it easier to reduce the amount of time that it takes to do these things, frees up more time to be able to engage and be a little bit more personal on all the
One
other
single
platforms.
distribution hub that would like adjust to the templates for each, that, because it is impossible. I've made little runs at, when I did some recruiting for a while, so I focused on building up my LinkedIn. I think I have 5 or 10, maybe I have 10,000 followers. It might even be more than that. I don't know. I stopped because I hate the platform because it's like spamming me to death in my DMs all the time. But if I could just low effort cross post there and just occasionally, check comments and or even have, that stuff VAs can do or AI can do. Like, can you look through? I do that with my email now. I'm like, can you find anything that looks, important or like I need to attend to? Because I don't even want to look through the amount of, so you just do it in your app and say, Gemini, find me anything that looks like a bill or important or a business related thing, and it just sorts those to the top and gives you a little summary.
I did not even see. I just learned something right there. That's sick.
You're welcome.
There you go. Yeah,
you're welcome.
I'm gonna have to do that.
All of
Gemini does that. That's pretty awesome.
There
I just use it to set my alarm. Seriously.
That's funny. How much of this did you hear?
I heard a bit.
Okay. Yeah. So what we're talking, we kind of got off topic and we're talking about, well, with the, how you're stuck on a platform with Kaido and stuff. So I have a friend that's working on like an overlay that goes over like LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever. And it's just like, once you get connected to a person through tagging Reply Corp as the company, then it monitors that person's engagement with you forever on the platform. And then they earn Mickle points. I named them Mickles because it sounds like nickels and I thought it was cute or whatever. So I just did my first raffle. So people who have been, it took 30 days back. Everybody who's been engaging with me for the last 30 days that's, done the Reply Corp thing. I think I have like 500 of them. They earn points for every engagement. And then those points become raffle tickets because I don't want to be Kaido and trying to arbiter or like, hey, why is this person, have this many points and that's AI? So I'm not the judge of that, but they're raffle tickets. So earn as many raffle tickets as you want. And I'm passing on those earnings from SocialFi. So I'm taking 10% of my SocialFi earnings to redistribute to people who are supporting me. And then the possibility to do that cross-platform, I think is really cool. What do you think about that? Like, is that something that you guys have been, like, that's what we need, right? Something that can expand across platforms and we're not so siloed. Like the Twitter echo chamber, like, shoot me now.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is. The echo chamber is crazy. I do understand what you mean by having advocator across all platforms. It's a very good idea. I think for us right now, as a VC, we look at it as can you execute everything. It is actually very difficult to get users to go like you instead of why not directly on Facebook, directly on Twitter alone. And I think every SocialFi is like echo chamber. They don't want anyone to leave there. So that's why like their creator royalties in Twitter. That's why their creator royalties are in TikTok. And I think Instagram started that too. I don't get it because I don't look at it for my friend's photo, but like they're doing that because to make them stay, right? So it is
well, it's almost like
I don't know.
Each platform, like on Facebook, you can't talk about certain things because it just flags you more than others. And then
really?
But
I didn't know that.
But Instagram you can't. Like there's certain platforms, I guess there's certain thing. I know back in like 2020 when we had the pandemic, if you talked about the pandemic, you're like flagged on Facebook, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot of things like that. But then on TikTok, it was okay to say the word COVID, right? And YouTube, no. Like it was really weird. And it's kind of like Kato's like you're talking about how you have the the little not the collabs, the little groups and everything like that. And maybe something like that where certain echo chambers work on this platform and then we're talking about this on another one, and it's kind of the same thing all over again.
It is stupid. Like freedom of speech is always, I think anyone's can advocate. Like freedom of speech is so special. Why do I can't talk about there's so sensitive geopolitical issues.
So you must be a big Elon fan then, right? Because he saved free speech.
I okay. He does some like unique. I can't say bad things. He does some unique things. If I can say, right? Like I think right now in this age, like this space or whatever you want to say, like we self censor a lot.
Yeah.
We even though like okay, we're on Twitter. I don't really like this project, but I want to get the rewards, so I'm a bit more bullish with that. You know, but if you fund them kind of thing, you probably get more engagement, but you probably get flagged.
Yeah.
So what self censoring is I think it's not good
We
for
all do
anyone,
it.
but we all do it for the sake of something else, for the sake of something.
Yeah.
So
And
aggregator is
that's
a very
not
good.
authentic. We're not really helping our,
It
like
isn't. It isn't.
our
But
job as quote unquote key opinion leaders, which I never set out to be. I've always worked in the space, and I just found, my last startup, we decided it was not going to work, and it's like, well, I'll just pay my bills for a while, and I kind of like it. But if I'm honest about my opinion, and people do like it, maybe I will cost myself certain opportunities. But I've also, I've been in the space for 4 years, and I have a good reputation, and I've worked. I feel like I can share an opinion, and I'm not budding. I'm just saying, hey, like these are some concerns, and when you try to address teams directly and they don't respond, like this is a platform that gives consumers a voice. You can't just ignore them, or you can at your own peril.
I definitely share the same sentiment. It's I do this part-time. I have a full-time job, and I pick and choose who I work with because it's a matter of how much time I have available to be able to do things. And also, I don't want to. I see a lot of people on the timeline, and I'm not throwing shade on how people make their money. A lot of people are a character online. And that's what gets a lot of views and stuff like that. But I feel like for me personally, that's exhausting. So I'd rather just be myself. I'd rather just be me. This is it. And you know what I mean? I don't care if it's a slow growth because I'm not planning on going it. Like I got the crypto bug. I'm here for the rest of my life. So like, I'd rather just be genuine and like, and I think you should say when a product is doing something that you don't like, you should voice it because you want them to improve, right? We're all here on the same team. We're all here for crypto mass adoption. So we should be telling people, not just because we want, we want the goodies and the rewards, because we actually want this space to improve as a whole.
And that's why nobody respects KOLs, right? They're paid shills. And
so actually, I do agree with you a lot. Like I think, I'm Canadian too, just like you. So I agree. And sometimes when someone asks me to post something, and I actually honest at the bottom, I always say, do your own research. And this is a sponsored post. Like I do say it out loud.
Yeah.
Like just in case, something like, oh, why did you, promote this? I'm like, dude, I got paid to do this, right? So
and that's what it is with the transparency. And I think transparency is so valued here in the crypto space because there are a lot of bad actors. There's a lot of people just shilling all over the place, and you go on the page and it just looks like a constant shill. But when it's genuine, you say, hey, I'm getting paid for this, and that's fine because like everyone's trying to make money. Like don't get me, I got into crypto to make money. You know what I mean? Like making friends and being part of communities is like the cherry on top. But I came here as an investor. I'm an investor first, and I came here to make money. And with a lot of people, that's why we're here.
And I think the way I've been thinking about our individual Twitter, they're like TV stations, right? Like we have average to put on the content, and Mike's less of a character. Maybe I do a little more engagement farming on the timeline. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's good for business. And people like that entertainment. And I try to balance like the ads, and let people know, like, yeah, I am sponsored. I am an ambassador. I am this for this person. But I don't think news stations, unless they're just really like ethically or principally opposed, like that's kind of the freedom you have as a creator. You can make your own call. And if something is just super shady, hopefully we're self-regulating, not self-censoring, but just saying, hey, I'm not going to put this out there because I don't want to lead my followers off a cliff. I'm sponsored by ToshiBet. I like gambling a little bit as a form of like I used to love to go play penny slots, and that's mostly what I play there. Like I'll just unwind and turn my brain off, but I let people know like gambling is dangerous. It's addictive. I write posts on that too, because I think it is important. Like if we want to be taken seriously as an industry, like to treat yourself like you are a news station or somebody trying to provide valuable information to people that they will use in forming their decisions. So that's like, it is your responsibility to be giving them correct or good or balanced information, and that's how we get away from 12 news organizations controlling the entire narrative of the world, which is what we're, hopefully doing here.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said, and I think like what like a lot of people do, like once they buy a coin, they usually talk about it on the timeline, so they're kind of pumping their own bags. And I get it, like you kind of want more people to get in, so you know, financially, I guess financially
You're
you gain
incentivized.
something, but
Yeah.
you're incentivized. So at the same time, like you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be paid ad. You can just buy something you like and you just want to talk about it. That's okay too, I think. But when you get to a certain amount of followers or some amount of engagement, there's some responsibility at the same time, I feel.
With great
Of
power
course.
comes great responsibility.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, so exactly the Spider-Man speech, like it happens, like, and then like when you're small, no one cares, right? But when you get a little bit bigger, people start,
Yeah.
flashing you. Like
I
there's
think
lot
all of a
things
sudden
out
it hits you, you're like, I have to be careful now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not just some, like,
Yeah, you don't want to be the next Bit Boy.
well, I
Yeah,
kind of
but
do.
then-
That's
yeah.
epic meltdown.
Hey, but
Crash out.
hey, but opportunities come when you get like more followers and get more of that social power. I think like for me, I got like when I got a bit more, like engagement or more followers, people start asking me for real life, speeches, panels. I got flew out once just to give a speech, like it happened. So like
Yeah.
I can't say like your opinion doesn't matter. So being, yourself, like you said, being yourself is most important. Just be yourself. Like if you don't like something, don't like something. And there's a lot of personalities out there. They are like yelling the mic all the time. They have like, writing all caps all the time, right? Like, I don't like it personally, but a lot of it does get a lot of good engagement. So
Yeah.
props it
And
up
there's
for doing
something
that.
for everybody, right? Like we're all
Yeah.
different, like live and let live in the crypto ecosystem. I don't call other creators out for like
Yeah.
unless they're rugging people, like Ben Dottie and all that, like I called that guy out, and Paul, there's been lots of crazy stuff in this space. I think the last thing, I don't know if Mike has any more questions, but a lot of people that have been watching our show lately and just a lot of the new followers that I've gotten since getting a little more serious about infoFi are new people looking for ways to get in. And I think that there's this negative whatever connotation with the newer accounts and AI slop, and we're saying all these things about these other accounts, but what I've found is that like probably 30 or 40% of them are real people that are just trying to figure it out. And that's why I got into crypto, is to help people in third world countries have access to capital and financial instruments that will raise them from poverty. So like for me and my unemployment time or whatever I'm doing right now, like that's a kind of a personal mission of mine, is to like integrate those people. And like, I think, and I applaud Taito for, doing the community and trying to, I actually made the suggestion before they did it to make 2 pools of rewards. I don't know if that like inspired, I was like, do one for the established creators and then have a smaller pool that people can self-opt into and have a chance at competing when they're new, and then help educate those people. Somebody called Kaido Yappers terrorists the other day. I can't remember who it was, but the DeFi app team, I love them. They fudded them. They were like, okay, if you're a terrorist, you're more than welcome here. But like that kind of attitude and mentality towards new people. I was shielding a project called Apes Run the World. I own 66 super.
I have to go for a second. Sorry, keep going though.
You're good. Okay. So yeah, so I own 66 super Yetis, right? Like I was an idiot when I got into this space.
Oh my God, me too.
I keep forgetting to go back and post this art, but I believed when I was new that it was going to be like the next Bored Apes. This NFT thing was the next thing. And then, people helped me and people showed me the way, and I kind of learned to like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't a good look, and the people I look up to, this is how they do it. But I always talk about Ashley DeCan, because she was the first creator on my first job when I wasn't paid and I was just, doing an internship at Pirates of the Metaverse. I asked her to host a show for us, and she just did it for free. We gave her an NFT, she didn't charge, and she was big back then too. But just people reaching out, and like that first little bit of support you get can make the difference between somebody saying crypto is a freaking scam and it sucks and people there suck, or like, hey, those people are really trying to change the world for the better.
Yeah. I'm
And, like, I
literally
wanna be
living
part
that
of
right now. Like in 2021, it was just me. I didn't have anybody. I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, got into, the Bit Boys. I was watching Bit Boy. That's how I got in. I watched, Altcoin Daily, Crypto Wendy, like all the, the big influencers,
Yeah.
because I didn't know shit about crypto. Didn't know nothing. This is the cycle where I've gotten to the communities. I met you. You helped me along. I met J Chains and joined the Web3 Breakfast community, and he helped me along. And then I got into said, I'm going to start doing content, and then he helped me and you helped me, and like we just networked together, and then hitting conferences, speaking on stage for the first time, and second time this year. It's like it's I'm literally like, without you helping me, without these people help me, rooting for me, I wouldn't have ever tried it. I would just been an investor in the background, just holding my coins, and that's it. But I
Yeah.
feel like I almost feel like
We curated you. We saw you and we were like, this guy's got something. I mean, it's true. And that's what you should do in this space. If you
Yeah.
identify talent, like that benefits the whole space. Lifting up good, positive creators that have good morals and good ethics. There is nothing better in the space than that. And we're all circle jerking the insider crypto Twitters, which I was formerly of. But I don't move like that. I engage with whatever I have time for. Obviously, I can't with everybody, but
I feel like as a content creator, and maybe this is why I don't work with some things and have my honest opinions, because maybe I'm already thinking in my head that I have that big voice, I have that big following, because I want to already act like I have it and manifest it, and I don't want to be screwing around, because I want to be here, and I want people to trust what I'm doing. I want people to see the journey. I'm not rich yet, but I'm going to be, I believe, in the next cycle, and I hope people can see what it takes as a mechanic. Grease monkeys are not supposed to be smart, and
Yeah.
it's just where you put your time and energy in, and absolutely anybody can do it. Literally anybody can do it, as long as you just like. And I'm not like the most charismatic person. I'm not a character or anything like that.
You're pretty charismatic.
Maybe a little bit, depends on how much coffee
People
I've
like
had.
you. Do the Borat.
Oh, well, hello.
See, you're a character.
But yeah, maybe I take myself a little too seriously. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like
you're more right. Like I'm a shit poster a little bit, and that's part of my brand and part of my IRL personality is I just don't. I've been sober 8 years, and I just learned to not take life too seriously. I've lost a sister to suicide. Like I've had crazy life things that have allowed me to do a lot of inner work that I just don't focus a lot of that energy on those things. But like,
it's funny, and
so I have fun.
I actually admire you, because you're like the thing that I'm like, I wish I was more like that. And then
you will be more like that, Mike. Here's the problem. I was afraid to speak on Twitter Spaces. When I first got to Twitter, I'd get up on stage and like have my question prepared and be like, I would turn bright red without even turning on my microphone, like scared to death. And
that was
now you
me in
can't shut me up.
2024. I was the first. We're getting to the Web3 breakfast, going on stage with J Chains. Oh my god, he used to work with BitBoy. Oh my god, like you know what I mean? Like oh my god, I gotta sound smart. And then I start talking, and you get over it after like a couple times speaking, and then you start to talk, and then people's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. And then you get confident in yourself, and the more you speak, this is honestly the initial plan when I got into content creation, is like, I don't feel like I'm a good speaker, so I want to go push myself to speak more, so I can organize my thoughts, because you actually organize your thoughts better when you speak out loud. So I got into Jordan Peterson, and that's what he said, and like, so I just started going to speaking and just getting better at speaking, and getting my thoughts in order, and being able to talk about these things. That's why I'm doing a lot of the charts, and and the technical analysis, because I find the best way to learn something is to teach others. And that's what I'm doing with charts and all my calls and everything like that. Whether sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Like today was not a very good day, but
well, the market's been a little wonky.
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
This is good. I mean, that's kind of what I was leading into asking Eric, and he is just so everyone knows he's a brand new dad. We barely got him on the show. I'm super grateful that he came. So if he's listening and he can't pop back on, absolutely no issues. I've been there a few times myself, and I know how rough that track is, but just advice for new people getting started out that maybe don't have the audience. And I think, Mike, you're a good example of how to do it the right way. You're not chasing the Kaido rewards. You're not chasing every latest airdrop and you're found your niche. You've put a lot of effort into like learning how to chart, and you're trying to build a brand around yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see on a lot of these pages. And they're like, well, why won't you follow me? And I'm not going to follow somebody that every single post is a Kaido post. I'm just not. It's going to hurt my engagement, right? And it's going to add a bunch of ads to my timeline. Like if I don't vibe with you as a person, I don't really want to, I'm not here to just follow everybody. I want to help as many people as I can, but my timeline, I try to keep a tight ship, So
Same.
yeah, I think you've done it the right way. So talk about like you started when 20.
So I got into crypto the first time in 2018, right at the bottom. I don't even I played Magic the Gathering, the card game, and somebody told me about Ethereum, and I got into crypto and I started watching YouTube videos, stuff like that, and I'm like, told my wife, I think this is the bottom from all the YouTube videos I watch. I didn't know shit. I just thought it because they said, I'm regurgitating what they said. And it was actually the bottom. I got in.
The internet is true, so of course it was.
So I got in 2018, 2019, like the bottom had happened. So 2019, you had gone up a little bit, made a little bit of money, and I used that as the down payment of the house I live in now. So then like it was good, but then I sold too early, and then it came back. Bitcoin came back, and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta get back in. So 2020, I got back in, and then I got into mining because gamer, building computers, it was like totally second nature to me, and graphic cards, right? So got into Ethereum mining. It was very, very lucrative. I was like, holy cow. And I started buying graphic cards like crazy. And like in 2020, graphic cards were not easy to come by because of COVID. And I was literally playing double for some graphic cards. It was crazy, but they were still paying. They're like a 3080 was paying like I think like $3 to $5 a day in Ethereum, which US, which
You're a hustler, dude.
So it was crazy. It was, and
all of my financial advice and side hustle advice.
I told myself I came from two poor parents from Portugal. They were farmers. My parents are farmers, and they were poor, and they never wanted to be poor again. So they came to Canada, did well, lived well under their means, were very good with money, and were able to be comfortable because they didn't take too much risk because they never wanted to be poor again. I understand now that I'm an adult, I understand the psychology of my parents.
Oh yeah,
but
we're
it's
all reacting,
right? So I got into I told myself, I said, I've never taken a really big risk. I've always calculated risks and small risks, but never a big risk. So I took debt. I was always told my whole life, don't use debt. Don't use debt. That is bad. Don't have credit card debts. Don't have the idea. So I took some debt. I had a house. It was in a good spot. Mortgage, I can afford my mortgage, and me and my wife had pretty good paying jobs. So I said, let me take a risk. I borrowed money and bought a bunch of miners, and it did very well. I made a bunch of Ethereum. I can continue to buy miners. Started learning about entrepreneurship and tax. How to do your taxes. Started getting credits on my taxes. Now I'm like, okay, so I started putting together this plan, and it's been working, and like learning live, like on the fly.
Right.
And then and then as it's working, it's like, okay,
learning out loud, which is something that I love that you do too.
Absolutely. And then, so I got into all that, and then I moved into Bitcoin when Ethereum moved to proof of stake, and that forced me to get down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin. And when you get down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin, it's really not about Bitcoin. It's really about money. What is money at a fundamental level? What is inflation? What is debasement of currency? Like all that kind of stuff, right? So you start to understand the economy. And I love money. Not that I'm a greedy person. I love the idea of how money works in the system, how the
You're
economies
like
work.
one of the most greedy people I know. You're
Well,
just so
right?
when I think of Mike, I just think like, man, that guy is.
Yeah, just hoarding cash over here. None for
I'm
anybody else.
entitled and you're greedy. So we're a perfect match made
So I just I continued doing what I was doing and learning more and more and more. Again, as a mechanic, I like to know how things work. Like I like to figure out the mechanics of how money works through an economy. What makes this happen? What makes this happen? And then from all my research, it all came down to one simple thing, because I have to break it down because I don't feel like I'm overly smart, is debasement of currency. Everything happens from debasement of currency. So it's like, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. It's like, okay, this is why, like, everyone's talking about the FOMC and rates getting cut, because literally everything teeters on whether is debt easy to come by or not. And that's it.
I know.
So I borrowed more money, and I bought a bunch of Bitcoin miners. I borrowed more money than I've ever borrowed in my entire life. My parents thought I was crazy, and this bull cycle, I paid off the entire loan. I bought a Tesla, paid that off in 1 year, and I still am holding crypto, and I anticipate, like, when altcoin season finally freaking comes, that I will be able to. Soon, I hope, and we'll go into that soon. Sponsored by Enclave Markets. And then so like I'm just doing this live, learning. I've been compounding all the returns, the expense, all the stuff I learned from taxes, doing everything above board because I don't want to get audited. I want to do it the right way. Like there's but I believe you should pay as little tax as as possible.
Move to America, Mike.
Absolutely, honestly, like you guys have way better. I want some tax loss harvesting stuff, but the only thing I don't like about the U.S. is, like, no matter where you live, you have to pay American taxes. I don't like that. I don't want to be. I don't want to be trapped.
And also, I'm leaving as probably as soon as my dad has a couple houses on the beach in the Philippines. When my older kids graduate, I'm like, man, I could go live for free.
Oh my God, yeah.
Let my kid grow up like multiculturally and free babysitting. I just don't know if it gets any better than
sunny weather. Like, yeah. Well, you live somewhere that's pretty sunny anyways. Like I'm just like, when I went to Portugal, I was like, oh man, it's so nice here. Like I don't have to deal with snow. I'm so down. Even just the sunny. I don't even care if it's cold. If it's just sunny, I'm good with that. I'm built for that. But yeah, I'm just learning life. I do as much reading as I can. The bear markets is really where I buckle down and start, like, every day I would just listen to Audible and at work while I'm plugging away. Now I'm doing Twitter Spaces and I'm doing shows and networking with everybody else. But like the bear market, things are going to slow down. I hope we have another bear market. I'm pretty sure we will.
I'm ready for a bear market. I'm so tired, Mike.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm like, man, I'm just ready to, like, because like, I'm just so overwhelmed. Just coming back from vacation, I was like, getting back to the the tempo that I was doing before is hard. And but we're you know what?
My ex the other day, he forgot to call our twins on their birthday, and I had messaged him and reminded him, and he didn't message that day. I messaged him today anyways. I was like, hey, they said you still didn't call me. He was like, sorry, I had a mild heart attack. I was in the hospital working too much.
Oh my God.
Right? Like,
my aunt
we gotta be careful.
When I was in Portugal, my aunt just had a massive heart attack, and she works a high stress job, travels a lot.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be on a plane that day, and her husband was like, no, you're going to the hospital. And thank God, because she wouldn't have made it. If she went on that plane, she wouldn't have made it. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's an important reminder as I sit here drinking a Monster at 10:09 p.m.
I thought you were off the monsters.
I was. It's a after the bull market, maybe when I'm getting more sleep, sleep's the problem. Well, I'm going to go ahead and remove Eric from the call. I'm assuming he is on baby duty. Thank you again so much. And I can't wait to put out some of these clips, some super valuable insights. Let's pop him off. And I want to see some charts. I need to know if I'm ever going to be able to make money again.
Oh, absolutely. So I just want to say before we get the charts, like VCs, I interviewed another VC guy at the Bitcoin Vegas conference. Sometimes they get a bad rap because they dump the tokens or something like they're working with, when they initially get in, or there's just people have just given them a bad rap. But you have to understand, like, they're the ones taking the risk. And
Right.
sometimes you need to have people in the space like that are taking the risk, because without them taking that risk, they won't be able to find those gems. And
Nobody, right?
I applaud for them for that, because like he said, like the salary is not great until one of your projects hit and you get a bonus.
Yeah.
So it's a tough way to live. So not it's not for everybody, and I applaud the people that are doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's nice because I think in crypto we're composable, right? So when I was working for the crypto recruiting company, I was like a funnel for them. It wasn't a lot of work. And I think that's kind of how a lot of VCs do it. They have their other earning activities. And this is just like, yeah, for me, it's like the Kaido drops. It's like I earn a regular living from, ambassador deals and stuff right now, or having a job. And then the rest is like, that's your building your financial wealth for
Absolutely.
retirement. All right, let's see these charts, dude.
All right. So, was it yesterday I talked about the dump that we were starting to have, and I said 109 is in play. If we lose 109, if you're in the Telegram, which you should be, by the way, charts are sponsored by Enclave Markets. You want to trade, with the Edge bot, because having trading and everything on the go from your phone, because sometimes you just need to get in quick and get out quick. And having the accessibility without having to log into get it to a PC and all that, you could just boom right from your phone. Love it. That's not my big thing about it. It's just being able to do it right from the phone. Like I mostly do most my stuff from the phone, because I'm working. I'm working at work, or I'm out, or I'm out with my family, and I can easily get in the charts, and that's huge for me if you're working part-time in this. Very, very big help. But we called this drop to 109. It did hit 109. And now we're kind of just like, I called a bear flag this morning, didn't play out.
I saw that.
It went right up. Like I got direct both sides. So I hedged my bet with a long position, and then so I closed the short because the short was going the wrong way, and then the long looked really nice, and then rolled over. So I got destroyed both ways this morning. The market makers are having a field day with us. But it is what it is.
You saw my P&L and DeFi app, right?
Yes. So I was on DeFi app, and then I got wrecked on weeks as well. So
really good. I'm doing really good.
So I had this. I redrew my rising wedge, and we did break out. So it did fail. So when you have a downtrend, you're gonna make something like this. Like as you can see, you come down, you roll over, and then you stop at some point, and then it makes usually like a rising wedge or rising channel before you break to the next step. Because when you come into this channel from a downtrend, it's usually continuation. Now, and what you do is you trade these until they don't work anymore, because eventually you're going to find a bottom, and it looks like there's a potential that this is the bottom, that 109, or actually we went down to 108.5. That could have been the bottom for Bitcoin temporarily. We don't know where we're going to get stopped out at. Like we may reverse up, we're making a bottoming pattern right here. So right now the rising wedge broke up to the upside, but we kind of rolled over and we're back in it. So like this could still play out. We could still go down to 107 here.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, I'm all over the place, because on my hourly chart, it looks like the stochastics want to come down. And same with the RSI. But then when you look at like higher time frames, like the 4 hour, it looks like we still have room to go to the upside. The daily on Bitcoin, again, same thing. We're at the bottom of the stochastic. And then we're also, if you look at my bigger channel here, we could come to the top of the channel here. So I'm not really gonna trade anything, because it's just too choppy right now for me. I'm gonna sit out and wait for my structure. I'm going to stay disciplined. I'm going to follow my structure. I'm going to look at this 1 hour and start with the 1 hour and see if this continues up or goes down, and then we'll make some sort of pattern. And it's kind of, I was looking at it, it's like a lot of altcoins have done the same thing, and they were kind of leading here. Like Ethereum was leading Bitcoin. Like this looks like Bitcoin right here. Like Bitcoin's right about here right now, and Ethereum's kind of leading that. Like it's even ahead of that.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of indicative of your altcoins, the strength of altcoins right now. So I would wait until this does something. Either it fails or it
Mhm.
succeeds, right? So I
Okay.
posted in the Telegram chat. If we break to the downside, that's when I would open a trade. It would look something like this if I was to do it. So I would look for the break to the downside. I would start. No, that's a long position. Let me go to a short position. So if we're going to short it, we would do something like this. We would look for the break. We put our stop loss above. So I would break down here. We put our stop loss probably somewhere in the middle of the channel if we get back in it. And then our target would be 107. So that would be a 3.81 risk versus reward ratio. And then your stop loss would be 0.64. I please use 1% of your portfolio. So you would take whatever 1% of your portfolio is, say it's $10, divided by 0.0064, which is your stop loss. Your position size should be 1500 USDC or USDT or whatever you're using. That's your position size. And then when you put your stop loss in your take profit, your stop loss will be that 1%. It'll be $10. Like you'll only lose $10 in that trade. So that's where I go, because especially right now with how choppy it is, be in control how much you're losing, because otherwise you're just gambling.
Yeah. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
To be totally transparent.
And you know what? If you hit one big, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But if there's always
I'm
another
a high
trick.
risk, high reward person generally, and I do the airdrops, and I could do so much better if I had discipline, but I don't have. It's just not one of my skills, and I think
you gotta do what works for you. Like, this is my strategy. I'm showing you what I would do.
Yeah.
This may not work for you. Right? But what you can take away from this is the patterns. The patterns, whether it has nothing to do with me, these are traditional trading patterns. So
no, you're better than me, and I want you to just do my account, is what I'm saying. I'm not a good perps trader or probably trader, but I get big conviction on things, and sometimes it pays off. I made probably 30K on the arena when I got in early, and then GameStop did really well. I did well on Neo and the stock market, like very early.
You have good insight of what the value of things that could be. So that's a superpower.
And then a lot of times, it doesn't come to fruition, but I'm making littler bets, right? So then
But you have to be out. That's the thing. You got to be out there taking the risk, right? So I still have that little bit from my parents, that little conservative, risk taker, because for me, I have a huge goal. My goal is not just for me to like become wealthy. Like, I want my entire family to be okay. I want my sister. I want her kids. I want to be able to give all the kids in the family everything that they deserve, and help my parents out, especially as they get older and start to get unwell, which is inevitable. Like that, I have a lot of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself.
On yourself,
so I don't want to screw it up. So that's my thing. So I am a little bit more conservative in that sense, because I'm 37. I don't want to have to start all over from zero again.
I'm 43. Did I just say that live on air? God damn it.
Hey, by the way, happy belated birthday.
I'm just, once my kids, I'll be all right.
After this altcoin season, you're gonna be making We're just gonna come on stream with 2 money guns, just like shooting them. They're gonna be flying all over the place.
With real money this time, not little retardio dollars. Even.
It's funny. I took that gun from the New York conference, the venue. And I didn't realize the money said like the F word on it. And I gave that gun to my daughter. She's like, "Daddy, this part has bad words on it." I'm like, "Oh shit, it does." Oops.
My son tells me every bad word is the F word. Like, somebody will say like crap. He'll be like, "Mom, they just said the F word," and I'll go talk to their older children, and they're like, "I said crap."
Oh
and I'm
God.
like, "Oh, you just
we just unlocked crap for my daughter." So like, we gave her the green light to say it, and it's just like now it's everywhere.
They're always testing what they can say too, right? Like coming up with like, they'll hear something at school and then come back and be like, "Can I say this?"
Yeah.
Can I say God?
Isn't it crazy how like funny it is? Like, it's the first time they're saying it. It's like, "Oh my God, so exciting to say a word." It's like, okay.
I know. I love it. I always think of the Bill Cosby Show. Not that he's real hot anymore.
Not the Quaaludes, just the show.
Things kids say or whatever. That
was, yeah. That was a great one.
In retrospect, it's really creepy that he did that, but there were some funny moments.
All right, so let's take a look at the overall market. we saw Bitcoin. We're kind of indecisive.
Okay.
So when I also put a thread out, if you guys saw that, when I'm indecisive and I don't know what the hell's going on, I go back to the basics: Bitcoin dominance and Tether dominance. Where the fuck is money flowing in this market? Pardon my French. All right, so Bitcoin dominance, we had a inverse head and shoulders, which you can see here. You have the shoulder, shoulder, head, and we pumped up exactly like we should. And it's crazy how like these work. It's like, here's the measured move. It's from the shoulder to the top of the head, and you go from the shoulder and you hit it perfectly. Like it's crazy how it's programmed sometimes.
That is pretty crazy.
So we have a little bit of like a falling wedge here. And we're waiting, like this Bitcoin look like it's going to break out, right? Like, will Bitcoin break out or will it roll over? So if we continue extend these lines to follow my falling wedge, it's looking like it's trying to break out. So it could break out soon. So look for Bitcoin dominance to potentially have more movement to the upside. Now, if Bitcoin dominance goes to the upside and we have Tether dominance going to the upside, then you're looking at a crypto dump overall. So we want Bitcoin or Tether dominance to continue its downward trajectory here. It looks like I had a falling wedge that was essentially going to break to the upside. It looks like it rolled over, so that's pretty good. But we did bounce off the 200-day moving average on the 1 hour at least, so we look like we have a little bit of a bounce here. Hopefully this bounce is short-lived and we continue our next leg down. Overall, now this is the hourly chart. Let's go to the daily.
And look at the RSI and like on the bottom. What are those little bottom thing? What are they telling you?
So let me look at what I'm seeing here. So on the, let's go to the daily. Looks like shit. So let's look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour here, I have an uptrending channel. Eventually, we're going to break to the downside. It looks like we're at the bottom. We're getting towards the bottom of the channel. So, and I see the RSI actually curling up right now. So look for, we could break to the upside here, and I do have like this falling channel here on the 4 hour,
like a little mini falling channel. Yeah.
Well, this could be like a little fake out. Like, even if I extend the lines, it could still be in this channel here. There we go. So that makes more sense now. So falling channel, and we bounce off the bottom and look like we may have a little move to the upside. So Tether dominance could go to the upside. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's going to go to the upside. So we're looking like we still have more downside to come. Historically, September has not really been a great month for crypto. Every cycle or every year, September's not great. August, people are on vacation and coming back to it. But quarter four for crypto is usually very, very, very good. And quarter four starts on October 1st. So what I anticipate is we may have some more downside to come here, or we may just chop sideways for a bit, because we don't have to go up or down. We can just go sideways, and going sideways alone will cause the stochastic and the RSIs to reset. So we can just have a boring September until maybe we start getting closer to those rate cuts. Or maybe it's a nothing burger. Maybe it's like a sell the news event. Rate cuts happen, it goes down, and then maybe later in September we start moving up towards October. So I'm not anticipating an exciting September, but I do believe October, November, December are going to be like fireworks. I really do. And to be honest, I believe the next leg for Bitcoin is the last one. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the next leg for Bitcoin is going to be.
What? How do you guys?
Let me zoom.
What kind of voodoo magic is this, Mike? You have a crystal ball.
So I have Bitcoin in a falling channel. A falling channel, if we were to measure it, would be something like that, and bringing you to 128K, and then what will happen is we'll flag out again. I think 140, 150K might be the top. Like, I don't think we're gonna get to 180, but I'm gonna show you something live that I had before. I'm gonna delete these lines really quick, because I also post this in the Telegram too. The banana zone. Let me see if I can find that curved line again.
What is a banana zone?
Oh man, so the banana zone is like the
I'm gonna post the Telegram, by the way, in the comments of the show, just so if anybody's watching Mike's feed, like, we have a lot of stuff going on in this Telegram. It's content creators looking to grow together. We do the Mickle points. Mike is dropping alpha on charts and whatnot. It's just new and it's evolving. We just got a little traction and are building a little community and trying to be supportive of people. So if you want to hop in, I'll add that to the comments.
So the banana zone it's not my term. This is coming from Raul Paul, one of my favorite people to listen to in the space. And the banana zone is essentially this: it's the parabola for Bitcoin. As you can see, it looks like a banana, right? You can see it kind of looks like a banana. This is the banana zone. This started back in January 2024. We've had the banana, and it's starting to curl up. This is a parabolic phase for Bitcoin, right? Like we go from
Yeah,
a bear
yeah.
market, and we kind of come up, and then the halving happens.
Is
We
this bullish for the Bored Apes too?
This is bullish
I'm
for
a vibe trader,
this
man.
is bullish
Somebody's gonna
for
post
everything
this.
because Bitcoin leads the market, right? So eventually, when Bitcoin makes a cycle top, money's gonna flow out of Bitcoin into altcoins. You have that final altcoin push, and then bear market. But as you can see, the parabola here, we're touching right here, and this could go up to 140K. Depends on I just got to make sure it keeps touching the lines here. But yeah, like 144K, 147K. Again,
Yeah,
I'm not predicting a number because I don't know where it's gonna go. I'll tell
right.
you my next sell
Say
target
when
is probably about
okay,
130K.
so say it makes this. Say you're spot on. It makes 144. Is it going to be like off a cliff?
It could
Do
be.
people have time?
A lot of people believe we're kind of following 2017 cycle, which would be lead up to a traditional cycle, which is a blow off top.
Yep.
Because last cycle we had a double top. But yeah, usually it is pretty volatile after Bitcoin dumps. But the
Yep.
thing is, like, what'll happen is we might top out, make a local top, we might come back a little bit and kind of go sideways, and then that sideways is where altcoins come into play, and then altcoin season happens,
Right.
and then when altcoins are done, then everybody just exits, and you'll see that in your
Russ,
you're gonna see
we'll
that.
hold back to 0, and then we'll be here and do it all over again.
Exactly. And so I look at the daily chart for, tether dominance, and tether dominance is in a huge downtrend. Every time we're making these uptrending channels rollover, uptrending channel rollover, it continues to do the same thing. When this stops working, we may have a bottom for tether dominance. That will indicate a top for Bitcoin or top for crypto. That might be that might be your signal for the end of the bull run, when this trend, this downtrend for tether dominance stops. So when this stops and it starts to reverse to the upside, you better watch out, because it's where's money flowing, and money, if it's money's not
I
flowing
don't
into
like the sound
crypto,
of any of this, Mike.
and
So what do you do?
what you do is you exit your positions. Like, you got to take profits in this market. The way to make money in crypto is not so much buying the tops and holding it for the next 4 years. You don't want to round trip. The way you make real money in crypto is taking profits in a bull market, and then compounding that return by buying again in the bottoms of the bear market. That's where most of the money is made. And the thing is, when you start to get into crypto at the right time, when you get in the bear market, you're not stressed in the bull market, because by the time the halving comes around, you're already in profit where you probably won't even get back to your entry price again. So it's just a
Right.
smooth ride all the way up. And I think it takes people a lot of experience, a lot of time. That's why they say it takes 3 cycles to make it, because I think it takes that time to be consistent in the market, to understand that how the market cycle works, the 4-year cycle. I don't believe the 4-year cycle is broken yet.
Okay.
But that's the overall sentiment I have. Again, look for more downside potentially to come, or maybe just some sideways action. Sideways action is very, very good too. Like, it's fine. And this is nothing, to be honest. Like, this is nothing. In 2017, on the way up, we had a lot. We had like five, I believe it was 20% pullbacks, and we've had from the top to where we are now, we're down 10%, and from the bottom so far, we're down 12.89%. That's really nothing. So not a huge dip. We had a bigger dip for, basically from January to April, was probably the biggest dip we've had this entire bull run, which was a 32% pullback. So 12%, not so bad. I would argue Bitcoin's volatility is actually declining over the next couple years.
Okay, interesting.
Hell yeah.
What do we got next?
Okay, let's take a look at home, because we wanted to talk about home.
Okay, yes.
Let me get on deck screener here.
And Go Farm, I put the comment in the links. We are in spot like 49 or 50 right now. That means we are within bonusing reach. it is a big bonus if we make the top 50 at the end of season 2. So please, if you're swapping or trading or perping already, Home has a mobile app that you can do all that from, and you can be earning money on Kaido and from DeFi app while you're doing it. So
all right, Home.
Here's my show.
So we can see my previous work. Inverse head and shoulders, we popped off. We had a symmetrical triangle, which actually broke to the upside, which symmetrical triangles don't usually break up so much. So maybe
you've been doing those buybacks though, right? So every claimed bonus Home. So I like last week I claimed $300 in bonus Home. So every time I claim 300, they're buying 400 or what, I don't know how the math works out, but they're buying more than I'm getting. I'm not even selling it, but they're just buying it. So there's a lot of pressure. They're literally doing a good job with this flywheel and recycling the fees back in. They all have huge bags of this token. That's how, they are building a real product. The play for them, in my opinion, is to have this be a $10 or $20 stock, whatever, a Coinbase or a,
honestly,
that type of path.
And honestly, the platform is great. I really like. I'm looking forward to the Android release for the app. I'm kind of sad that.
I didn't know you were poor. I'm so sorry.
I know, right? So, but the platform on the browser is really, really good. I anticipate the phone app will be just as good.
It's nice.
But for what we see here, we came out. It looks like we made a top. You can see, like I said, rounded bottoms pay the bills, rounded tops do not. So it looks like we're coming down. We can even I can even just erase all my lines here, and then I can just start fresh. So either we're starting a falling channel here, falling wedge, big falling wedge. This is on the day 4-hour chart here.
Okay.
So we can say it's doing this overall, like this is the overall trend, and then even within this little pattern here, we have a downtrend, right? Like we come down, we come up, and you see it once you start to see charts more often, and you're in the charts more often. It's the same thing over and over. Like Bitcoin did the same thing, right? We came up, we rolled over, came up a little bit, rolled over, came up a little bit. This one kind of faked out. This one popped off, hit the top of the channel, and then roll over again. And you just gotta wait for this to stop. So we have even maybe a little bit of.
But if it never went up that high, the channel would have just been smaller, right?
Pardon me?
Like that line makes the channel. The second line.
So all it is just it starts this pattern and it stops at one point and it continues to touch these points. So we draw these lines. Like you wouldn't know what pattern you're in at the like here. You probably won't know this channel exists until probably like here or even here, because it hasn't really made enough data. Like you have to touch supply. So like you have this downtrending resistance that just cannot get past this resistance. So you need to wait for this to break. So that's why you got to be patient in your trades. You got to wait for these things to play out, because you don't know that you're in a pattern until you've gotten so much farther into. You can anticipate it because more experience you have in charts, you can start to see, hey, I've seen this before. You can anticipate it. So like, for example, if I was up here, we had a huge uptrend and then we start to roll over, I could say, okay, maybe we're going to flag out, right? Maybe we're going to make something like this, right? And then it breaks through. Okay, then it breaks through. Maybe
you have to adjust
your
plan and expectations.
Yeah, you gotta be fluid, because like this is not a perfect science. There's no 100% accuracy in any of this stuff. All we can do is forecast and give what the charts are saying. But what I see here is
why I shouldn't trade perps, because I forget that I have them, and the whole profit and loss thing seems like math, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna get out of this real quick, and then I forget about it. But the XP is so good right now that it's worth what I'm losing.
And that's how, like, the incentive model.
I think I've lost like $1,000, but I have like 3.2 million gamble tokens, and that airdrop's going to be a lot bigger than anything, And so a lot, it's like this space is forcing us to change the way you think of money, and I think that's something the rich have always understood. You have to spend money to make money. You have to, like Uber, when it first started, they burned through cash, right?
Yeah.
To be able to become inevitable. Like, I know everybody looks at crypto Twitter influencers and thinks everybody's rich. Most of them are not. I am not, I have a comfortable life. I do okay. And that's it. Like, it's not this glamorous.
It's funny. I watched a video today that was talking about, you know, the difference between the mentality of a wealthy person and, the average Joe. And it's like, I have this bag, and it's a backpack, right? I'll sell you this backpack
Mhm.
for $10,000. The poor person who says that's too much. It's too expensive. I won't buy it. But the wealthy person will be like, "What's in the bag?" And the bag could have $100,000 in it, right? So that's
Yeah.
it's the difference between the mentality is like, one thing is too
Period.
expensive and not using money to buy more assets versus, what value am I getting? What is the value here? And
Right.
it's the way the shift, like you're seeing the value of the network by, like, trading, even though a trade may not go your way, but you're getting rewarded in home, but home is also going to go up in value over time
Yeah.
too. Like, you know what I mean? You're making that decision in your head, the risk versus reward in your head.
Yeah.
Like,
And
because
these are the first times most of these people are probably making these decisions in their life, because most people in survival mode don't have the luxury
exactly.
of investing in assets. And now they're getting into crypto, and there's some opportunity to like generate some free seed money and then start growing a nest egg. And then people are like, you are out here
So
badass showing them how to do it.
I go back to what really sticks with me. One thing that Jordan Peterson says is, like, people that are in poverty don't think for the future, because they're, again, like you said, they're in extreme poverty, and they're thinking like, where's the next money I can get to feed myself, or whatnot,
Yeah.
or pay my bill or whatever. Whereas when you pull people out of poverty, they can start planning and thinking for the future. They get hope, right? You get hope, and you can start thinking about a future. You can see a future, and that's why, that's one of the core things I love about crypto, because it does pull people out of that, right?
Yeah. We're
But
like a bad game of Monopoly. Like, somebody invented this game, and then we just kept playing it for a long time and realized it's getting worse and worse, but we're so deep in the game. Like,
absolutely.
from a
So
new medium, like crypto is necessary to come in and restructure. Like, this is for people who hate crypto. You also hate your government. You also hate taxes. You also hate like, yes, there are scams in crypto. Look at your politicians.
yeah,
Look at the choices you have.
you question
This is
everything,
a
right?
scam.
You question your
This is a
reality.
scam. This might not be, maybe crypto doesn't make it, but at least we have a chance of taking some of that power and control. And Nancy Pelosi's like 5,100x insider trading portfolio, while they sit there and look at your face and tell you they care about you. They fucking don't.
They just
They care about power.
I think Trump just fired some lady that worked on the board on the Fed, because she was like, she had like multiple houses that were on paper like her primary residence, and then she was renting it out to people as her primary residence. Yeah, it was a whole thing. And like, so Trump's like, okay, you're fired. Like, it was a whole thing, right?
Good for him.
And this person works
Did he
for
do
the
it?
this
Oh,
person
yeah.
works for the Fed. And she's like, I'm not leaving, right? Because like, you can't fire me. Like, so it's a whole thing now, right? But it's just funny because, like, yeah, it's like you're just seeing these crooks live, and
Yeah.
you know what? People won't even think about it. They won't think that, put a
I
second thought
know.
about it. But
It's
anyways,
the attention cycle. I read a study about, like, yesterday or the day before, about why it's so easy for politicians to lie to us. It's like they won't even answer the question. Like, somebody will ask them a question and they won't even answer that question. But by the time the person's answered the thing, like, the listener doesn't even realize that they didn't answer the question. So unless the interviewer really pushes them, it's like they can just put on whatever show they want if they have a friendly interviewer.
honestly a joke. It's crazy. But look for home to potentially come back to the upside here. Like, I do have a little
Okay.
falling channel here. I don't know how far this can go down, but we might bounce off the top of the channel again. I don't know if it's time for this yet, but again, follow the indicators that I've shown. Stochastic RSI
Mhm.
has lots more room to go to the downside. The RSI is oversold. As long as we're below the 50 line, this dotted line, that's like the not oversold, but like under neutral, right? So this is the neutral line. Anything above this would be starting to get a little overbought. We are curling up, which you can see indicated here by these little candles here. So it looks like we're trying to break out of this falling channel. I don't expect a huge move. Like it would basically just be like something like that. Like, again, look perfectly. It would just bring
you with how I'm staying stable in this market.
It would bring you to the top of the channel. That's all. I wouldn't even trade this. You could if you want to. If you could try to, but it's such a small move. It would just bring you to the top of the channel. I would wait for, again, more volume and things to pop off, because the overall market, I anticipate more downside, to be honest. I believe we could have short-term pumps, but like longer term, like within the next like month, probably not great. I want to wait for September to start and see where we're going to go from there. I want to trade patterns that I know are more successful to break out. You guys can trade whatever you feel comfortable, but for me right now, especially after the last couple days, weeks have not been the greatest because this chop has been crazy. So I'm gonna go back to basics. I'm gonna go to my signals. I'm gonna go and wait for patterns that I believe are more likely to break to the upside, and then also sentiment. If the market feels bearish and we're in a downtrend, the trend is your friend until the end. So until we get a reversal, a clear reversal with some confirmation, I'm not going to be getting into something yet. So just be patient. We got plenty of time. We still got probably a couple more months in this bull run. It could even spill into 2026, could go into Q1 of 2026. So day by day, and just, follow the patterns that I show, and then just wait till we break out.
And then like Mike always famously says, you can make money both ways. So when Bitcoin blows off, we're all just going to short the top and make it all back in one trade.
That's my dream. My dream is to catch the top and just have a short open for like the whole bear market. Like just have the short open, catch the top to the bottom. Like that would be like, oh my god, I did it. I can then I can go up like, I'm the one that caught it. Like that'd be so funny.
What if we all do it at the same time and like, wait, no, that's market manipulation. I don't think we're supposed to do things like that.
No, but I mean like the people that follow the trade that I put out, for example, all catch it. Like that would be amazing, because you can that's really. And then what you do is when you do something like that, you keep moving your stop loss and you keep moving it and you just keep trailing it. That way eventually you get to the point where your stop loss gets into a profit. So no matter what, you're gonna win this trade no matter what. Good. Right? So that's what I like to do when we get a huge pump. You move your stop loss up to break even, and then as it continues to pump, you just follow it little by little, and you keep following it, and then eventually, if you get stopped out, in the profit. There's no emotion in the trade anymore. There's no FOMO. There's none of that stuff like that. You're comfortable, and that's how you should trade. You should trade with no emotion. That way, over time, over like the course of hundreds of trades, you're going to be a positive trader, right? Because the bear market's going to come and it's going to be really, really tough to trade. And you're going to have to flip the way you think. Like if you press, I believe it's Alt-I, you can flip the chart upside down. If you're bullish in your mind, you just flip it upside down and trade the same way that you're trading. Yeah. So if you're on trading view, Alt-I will flip it. And that's very interesting. And the same thing
that
here.
Whole thing you just said, I just want to give you a big compliment. Like I'm gonna like clip some of this stuff up and send it to our video editors. I want them to make us like a show promo video, and it's gonna just be you sounding really smart. Like just
wow, follow my patterns and then try to upside. Don't be paper hands, only hold.
Yeah, and just do a little, because you are like there's a lot of value, and I think I kind of love like collabing with you for that, because I am like the attention, the marketing, that that's my wheelhouse, and I'm an idiot at this. I would love to be able to help people make some their first free dollars in infoFi, and then turn around and take it and make some great plays in the market and like get a substantial start. And like it's real hard to change like the trajectory. It takes hundreds of thousands or a million or whatever to substantially change somebody's life in the US or Canada. It does not take that much in a lot of these third world countries. So if you can help them, and then they can go back and open a small business and employ people, like the network effects of the good that crypto has the potential to do. And that's why it's important to help people, man. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox tonight. I've just been
No, but it is. It
on my
really is.
way.
And I think there needs to be more people like that because, again, like there's a lot of echo chambers, a lot of this, a lot of incentivized to do things for, financial gain, but like we're forgetting like we're all on the same team here. We're all on team
Yeah,
crypto, and we want
crypto. Yeah,
if we want mass adoption to happen, we got to make sure we're critical on the people making products to make good products that people truly want to use, not just because you're trying to make a buck. And I hate, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because I want people to be able to make money and not shame for people for the way they make money, but on the other hand, I do want this space to mature and
yep,
make good products that people could use that actually create a lot of value, not just pumped up because a KOL with 100,000 followers said it's good, right? um
yep.
but anyways, that's again my soapbox. I did want to show Crow because we had that
What's
news. We
Crow?
mentioned.
I saw that on your tweet. I was
So
like, what
Crow is the native token for crypto.com.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's their token. They have their incentive models. I know if you lock up a certain amount of Crow, you get a certain tier of the credit card. You can stake it. It's their token.
Okay.
So if we look at that, if you were to find that news, I didn't see it coming. But there's a little indicator that's usually really really good. It's when the 21-day moving average and the 200-day moving average when they touch. When the 21
Okay.
crosses the 200-day moving average is usually pretty good. So you can see
Okay.
from that pump from the bottom here, grows up, went up 164%
So
from
are we late?
yesterday.
Why didn't you tell me this yesterday?
I honestly, I had no, this was the news, right? The news popped off and it just went like crazy. And I was like, it's too hot for me. I'm not touching this right now because it's super
Did we
risky.
short it now?
So again, that's why I'm bringing it up. So we crossed the 21-day moving average, and you can backtrack this in a lot of any crypto coin, any coin, not even just crypto, even stocks. Look for when
Yeah.
the 21-day moving average, the white line crosses the blue line, right? And you can backtrack this when the white line crosses the blue line, huge pump. When the white line crosses the blue line here, big pump. And then like we got supported by it and we continued up. Like it happens a
Yeah.
lot. It does happen a lot. It's a really good model. Um, so right now we are really far from the 21-day moving average. So we could make some sort of flag. We could go sideways. It could dump.
Could
Usually
we?
the
Is this something available on EdgeBot?
that's a good question. Let me check real quick. I
Yeah.
think I would assume Crow should be on here. Crow's a pretty popular coin, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me go to my bot.
While you do that, let me go ahead and apologize in advance. I quote tweeted our space with a picture of us on the screen to promote the Telegram, and we both looked cute on my phone, and then it's a big image and just your eyes are a little bit closed. So don't be mad when you see it. They're just half closed.
Don't
You just look
worry, got
mild
it.
cardio, but it's
okay.
not.
We're
It's
good.
very personable. It's probably going to be good for your brand.
So I don't see Crow on Enclave. So hopefully Crow can
Okay.
get on
What
that.
about DeFi?
I gotta
I can check that.
yeah, do that because
Oh no.
I don't have the phone app. I have to use a browser, and I got a million.
Oh yeah.
I got a million
Sorry.
windows up.
Sorry,
Yeah.
poor.
I think DeFi might have. They seem to have more of the traditional stuff. Enclave is a lot of the AVAX.
Is it
popular-
CRO?
CRO, yeah. So look for Crow to come back down closer and touch that 21. Bring the 21 back in the price action. So if you are looking for a short, you can probably get in now. So what I would do is something like this. I would go, let's go short position. So say for example, you were to get in now because we're at the top of that channel right now, right?
Yeah.
I would put the stop loss at the top of this downtrend. So basically the top of that previous huge wick that we had, I would put it right at the top of the wick. You can even give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, go a little bit above that wick just in case. And then what I would do is I would short it back down to the bottom of the channel. So because I'm going to anticipate the 21-day moving average to do something like this maybe. So maybe I would kind of somewhere around here. So
Gotcha.
I'm just forecasting here, right?
Yeah.
That would be not a huge risk reward ratio, probably 1.6. Again, you can just hold it. You don't have to put a take profit. You can just hold that and just see where it goes and start moving. Again, like I showed you, move your stop loss into the break even as soon as you can, and then start moving that stop loss down and just follow it. You can just track it one candle at a time. And that could be a potential short because I do anticipate probably tomorrow. You might even see it start to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's look at the smaller time frames. The hourly looks like it's coming down. The stochastic is looking like it's gonna hit the bottom, so it might come back to the bottom of the channel here, like I have here. So we might just bounce around here until 21 comes in average. We did bounce off the 21 on the 1 hour, which looks really nice. Crow's strong. Crow's really, really strong.
Okay. Interesting.
The 4 hour looks overheated on the RSI. The stochastic RSI is peeking over the top here. So again, look for that to come to the bottom of the channel. That's telling me, okay, we probably could come to the bottom of the channel. So we may bounce around here. And honestly, that would be nice. Instead of like a huge dump back to the 21, it'd be nice to kind of make this down to a new channel, which could potentially, you can even just play the channel and wait for the next breakout, which would bring you to 23 cents. So that could be another. We could even track another breakout here if we're bullish. If we want to be a bull, a big old bull here, we can just track
well,
that.
I do like being a bull, but it hasn't ended well the last few times I've done that. I have a little PTSD right now.
You got if we did hit a bottom for Bitcoin and we are coming back and that was it and we're going to come back up, then everything else is going to stay strong. All coins have been looking pretty good. Like Bitcoin jumped to 109 and Ethereum only went to 44. Like that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's really not that bad.
What do you think? Can you take a quick look at AVAX?
Absolutely.
Do you mind?
Absolutely. AVAX has been the talk of the town. My trading group it's starting to make its way into my trading group and people are talking about AVAX. It's just everywhere. And not just from my algorithm. Like it's coming from sources that are not on my Twitter algorithm, which is where I'm like, okay, this is like, pay attention to this. Because
could you do some like consumer research for me and find out where they're hearing about AVAX?
Yeah.
Or like what made them like we're just trying to find so like Coops,
you know what I think it is? I think it's a lot of builders are building on the space and there's projects that they've already heard out and now they're building on AVAX. It's like, oh, okay. And then the communities start coming over to AVAX.
That makes sense.
I think that's what it is. It's just
AVAX, their BD team is better than any in the business.
Oh my God. And then like, not to mention like the volume is like everything's going down and the volume on AVAX just continues to go up. So
yeah,
again, it's where attention is, energy follows. Like we've talked about this like at the beginning of the stream. Like that's just where it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is going to be like that, like AVAX has had its years of consolidation. They've been building the infra. They've been building these partnerships that go so far beyond Web3 that are just starting to come to fruition. It's going to, the retirement coin, the adoption coin. I don't know, whatever we want to call it. But I'm glad I've been in on AVAX for a while. I'll say that.
So AVAX, maybe we can make something like that. This is on the daily, so this is like a bigger time frame. If we were to call this, I guess we could. This could be a little bit of a bull flag here.
That's a little choppy in there, isn't it?
It's very choppy. Look, this is the daily, right? So a lot of chop. If this is the bottom, we could go up to, this could bring us up to $34. I like to look at my support and resistance lines. We're coming up on this resistance now. It was support, now it's resistance. So if we can get in here, we want to break through this and break through this next red line, which would coincide with these tops and previous resistance. We did break out of my initial falling wedge. Didn't hit the target yet. We kind of went sideways, to be honest. Maybe a double bottom here. Get back to my brush. You can maybe see a double bottom here. Again, it looks interesting. It looks like it's starting to make a bottoming pattern. it's just, I don't know, it's not making anything overly exciting yet. Let me look at smaller time frames, because maybe I don't see it on the daily yet, but maybe we are, but mind you, we are above the daily 200-day moving average, which is always good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now we just got to get above that white line, the 21-day moving average. If we can pop off
Okay.
above that, we might have a good move. And sometimes when we do cross that white line with some, some movement, we do have a pretty good pop off. So again, I expect it, if this pattern is correct, we're going to bounce around this channel. And what you'll start to see is the volatility will slow down. As you can see, like you just mentioned, it was choppy, right? Huge chop here. And then as you see, the volatility starts getting smaller, 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 until
Yeah.
we either make a decision. We're going to go up or down. And this
Yeah.
is most likely a bullish pattern. I'm anticipating up in this pattern overall, but this could bring you up to this pattern brings you into like potentially September 27th. Like
Yeah.
every candle here's a day. So like
That's
this,
crazy.
you may be waiting a while for this trade to play out. But again, like a trade, if you catch this trade and from say it breaks out of the pattern at $27 all the way up to $34, that's a pretty good payday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's take a look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour stochastic came at the bottom, started to curve up to the upside, which could indicate move to the top of the channel. We did go above the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour, which is usually pretty good. We're kind of struggling with the 21-day moving average here, so let's look for that to potentially move up, and that will actually be getting back into the above this this resistance line here.
Yeah.
So we just got to flip that as support, and then and then I would be more adamant to say we're going up. So just watch that again. The overall in the daily is this pattern here. So oops,
Yeah.
look for.
So I could long AVAX here, and it wouldn't be horrible.
Yeah, you could, because what you can do, for example, if you were to long it, you can do something like this. You would go long position here. This would be your entry. You'd put your stop loss probably below these wicks, right? So we're making higher highs. You can see higher high, higher high, higher high. So if it was to break this wick, it would make a lower high, which is breaking structure. And then you could, if you want to ride it to the top of the channel, that's a 2.64 risk versus reward ratio. Pardon me. If you want to ride it all the way to 34 bucks, or even I like to go halfway up the flag to 30 bucks.
Yeah.
This might take a month for it to play out. But here you go. You can get it now. It would be 5.87, almost 6 to 1 risk versus reward ratio, which is pretty good, right? So
and then if I'm doing it on like 10 times leverage.
Well, it depends on your position size. So say, for example, like I said, if we go, if 1% of your portfolio is, if it's $10, your stop loss here is 4.73%. So it'd be 10 divided by 0.0463, I believe it was. No, 473.
Why I'll never be good at charts. All these numbers are just.
This is just calculating position size of how big your position is in the trade. If you're doing 1% of your portfolio.
Yeah.
So you would
I usually just do whatever I have available.
Yeah. Well, again, it depends how you do it. This is how you, if you don't know how much to put into your position, this is a good way to, and you can do 2%, 3%, whatever you want. I'm just doing 1%. So $211 would be your position size. So your $211, you're doing what, 20x leverage?
Yeah.
So times 20 would be a $4,200 trade. Your position size with the 20x would be 4,200. So if you make, for example, 4,200 and you're going, from your entry to $30, that's 28%, right? So 4,220 times 0.28 would be, that could be an $1,100 trade.
Yeah.
So that's where you go
for a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That would be pretty sick. Hey, Julie, I just noticed Julie's in chat. What's going on, Julie? But yeah, that would be your trade right there, right? That's the overall trend, and we know we're not done, so we know we're gonna go up. So you'd be getting it close to the bottom of the channel. You didn't catch the bottom, but you're close to the bottom. The 4-hour above the 200-day moving average is usually pretty good. So as long as we stay above that. If you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could put your long in now, put your stop loss just below the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour, and then just write that. and then just keep taking stabs at it. If it doesn't work out, close the trade, wait for it to happen again.
Right. Yep. That's what I need to get better at. I have a hard time selling anything. Even when I'm like, oh, I'm underwater, I'm sure it'll come back.
That's why I like trading the bigger time frames, because you have, they're more accurate for one. And then you can play your stop losses a little lower. It would have to really break like a big key level to go down, and you can ride that trade for a month or not. Or if you don't want to get liquidated, just buy spot, sell tops, buy bottoms, or buy dips. And then you don't have to worry about getting liquidated. You can follow the same trades that I've set up, same idea. And you can just hold. For example, you would buy now, you would hold and wait for, price to hit the $34, $30, wherever you want to take your profit. And then you would sell that and wait for the next dip.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. And then you have no stress.
Well, still have 3 kids, so
no stress in the trade. But yeah, life stresses. I can't help you with life stresses.
That's totally off the hook.
All I can help you is make sense of the charts.
Well, awesome. I think this has been a really good show. We've been going for 2 hours. This mom's got to get up at like 6 o'clock tomorrow, so I'm ready to cut it. But good show, and I can't wait to get some clips out. I'm going to clip the AVAX one particularly and then send that out tomorrow. We're going to send AVAX with this bullish chart.
Absolutely. I think I commented on one of the guys in the Cockinu community. I said AVAX is going to reach Mars before Elon.
You should tweet that shit.
It will.
Mike.
I will.
That's a banger.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it.
Like literally, tweet the funny stuff you think. I'd admit that,
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I'll keep on for
tweet it right after the show, or I'm stealing it.
You know what? I'm gonna post my chart here, and that's what I'm gonna do. Boom.
Yeah, it's a perfect caption.
See, I'm learning live. See, I learn live. She teaches me live.
I learned about charts. I feel like I should be paying you for these classes, so at least I can a little bit return the favor.
There we go. That's it. You're the yin to my yang.
That's right. Well, y'all have a good night. This has been a fun show. Next week, we are back with Doran from DeFi App. He's basically a celebrity at this point because he's done such an amazing job with the marketing and community management over there. He was previously at Wormhole. They had a great launch, but just the mechanics for the token weren't set up like this DeFi App team. So I think we'll have a lot to talk about next week. And we'll get some clips out from the show this week. And
that's awesome. Next time. I can't wait for that. All right, guys, thanks for coming by, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Did you turn us